Hi man, how's it going?
All right, how about you?
Good.
Give your name and badge number, please.
Yeah, it's Officer Gris. My badge is 1641. Is
Officer
there a
Gris.
reason why you're recording our bus?
Yeah, I'm gathering content for a story.
Sorry.
Personal story.
What about?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Is there something we can help you with or help answer any questions for you?
Nothing at all. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Are you able to give me your information just so I know who I'm talking to?
Negative. You can call me good citizen.
What is it?
Good citizen is what you can call me.
Okay. So is there any reason I gotta know why you're...
Am I being detained?
The lady cops come into the frame and ask the individual about why he is recording, to which the individual assertively asks for the name and badge number of a lady cop, suggesting a desire for accountability or documentation of the interaction. The lady exits the scene.
I know I'm not on state grounds though.
You are. If you go on the other side of the south side, you're more welcome to do that.
This is actually a public thoroughfare,
So I'd
right?
like you
If
to
I
go
was
on the other side
if
of
I
the
was
stop
coming to
sign.
visit somebody, I could just drive in here, right?
Correct, but on the other side of the stop sign, you're more welcome to do that. On this side of the stop sign is state ground. Seeing how the fence is there, I'd like you to go back on the other side of the fence.
Oh, I'm on this side of the fence.
That side of the fence, please.
I'm not sure that I have to, boss.
I'm asking you. I'm asking nicely.
I know, I
don't
understand.
wanna-
I understand that. I understand you're asking me nicely, but I'm not sure that I have to do that. I'm here to get some footage. I'm a journalist doing gathering footage.
Can I see your ID credentials?
Yo, I'm not going to give you my ID,
Why not?
and I
sir?
don't have to give you credentials. So I'm a journalist gathering content for a story, and I'm allowed to do this right here. I
You are
looked
welcome
up.
to do
I
that on the
looked
other
up
side of
your
the
guys'
stop sign.
property line.
On
Actually,
the other
it's
side of the
very
stop sign.
public.
Do you
Your
understand what I'm
guys'
telling you?
This is actually a public thoroughfare.
It's
So
not.
if
this
I
is state ground, sir.
no, this is I understand it's state grounds, but it's public.
Then another officer comes in. The individual and the cop they interact with disagree on the permissibility of recording in this context. To support his stance, the individual references the Department of Homeland Security memo issued in 2010, which is believed to outline guidelines concerning filming in publicly accessible areas. Amidst the discussion, the individual firmly asserts their identity as a journalist and their purpose of gathering content for a story. This claim is used as a basis for refusing to provide identification when requested.
Now, is that a law or a policy?
That's our policy. There's no filming on state grounds.
You said
You're
it's a
gonna need to go on
policy?
the other side of the ground.
Is it a policy? You said it's a policy, right?
Correct. It's our state policy. State policy. You cannot film on grounds. I need you to go back over there.
Okay, policies don't trump rights.
All right.
So
I need you to go on the other side over there, or I will go call the police.
okay, I mean I understand you
Is
can
that-
call the
that-
police,
is that-
but they're
is that
gonna
the
the
direction we
police
wanna
are
go?
gonna no, not really, but they're
But
gonna
that's-
educate you.
I'm just trying to get you to go over there and not have an issue.
I got you, but the police are just gonna educate you, and all they're
Okay,
gonna
that's
do is
fine.
say, hey,
If
this
they
is
like to come and do
public,
that,
this
they're
is
more welcome to do
publicly.
that.
2 hours later.
And they're saying that you're free to go. So as far as I'm concerned, you're free to go.
trying to get on ground.
Okay,
Can
and I'm free to
Can I ask
stay
you a
as well, right?
Can I shoot?
Officers free to stay on this public utility, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys. Hey, what was your name again? Figueroa? Is that it? Thank you for being professional. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Very, very courteous. And I will go ahead and get out of here now.
This.
This sucks.
The discussion surrounding the classification of the location as either public or private property. The man engages in a back and forth with the individuals present, questioning the designation of the area. In response to potential interference, the speaker mentions the possibility of calling the police and expresses confidence in their ability to remain on the public utility. As the conversation progresses, tension escalates and the individual becomes increasingly confrontational. They challenge the officer's perception of ownership over the property, questioning their authority and implying a sense of entitlement. The speaker also makes remarks about the significance of obeying orders, perhaps suggesting a critical view of the officer's actions or perceived abuse of power.
I'm just curious. I'm not being a dick. I'm just asking questions. Mr. Helmer, Jay, Jonathan. I don't want to call you.
You've obviously got my name, but you won't give me your name, right?
Of course I won't. I don't have to. I'm a private citizen. You're a public servant. It's a big difference. Right? Don't you agree?
Why wouldn't you give me your name? If you-
Just
no
because
issue, right?
I don't have to.
'Cause
Sir,
If you could educate the officers as far as dealing with the public and
Excuse me,
and
one
standing on public property. So
who do you work for, bro?
what was that?
Who do you work for?
I work for me. I work for myself. Yeah, I'm independent. Yep,
Okay.
I am independent.
Okay. You got
Yep.
the footage you needed?
Yeah, I'm done now.
Okay.
I'm
Is there
done
anything
now.
You need from him?
Nope, he has the information to contact our public information officer. So I am requesting that you leave our grounds now.
Okay, this is public. We got that straight, right? I'm in public.
You can more welcome.
Now
to
I
cross
might
the street.
stay here for another hour. I mean, you know, you can take a picture of me.
I'm
That's
gonna
fine. That's okay. That's your right, officer, to do that.
What's your name, sir?
Yeah. I'm not gonna give you my name.
Is there a reason you don't want
I
to
just don't give my name out.
Are you wanted by the law?
No. Are you wanted by the law?
I'm wanted to do my
You
job.
got anything on you you're not supposed to have?
No, everything is perfectly legal. Except
The speaker engages in a back and forth with the individuals present, questioning the designation of the area. In response to potential interference, the speaker mentions the possibility of calling the police and expresses confidence on their ability to remain on the public utility. As the conversation progresses, tension escalates, and the speaker becomes increasingly confrontational. They challenge the officer's perception of ownership over the property, questioning their authority and implying a sense of entitlement. The individual mentions being independent and concludes the interaction by stating they're done filming. The individual comments on the desecration of the U.S. flag on an officer's uniform and criticizes their attitude about it. Now let's move to another video.
Okay. Do you have any ID on you, man?
Nope, I don't need to provide that.
you could probably out in one.
Like, you do not want to stop like you have to stop across the street. You have to stop the line.
I didn't hear.
What's up, man?
You
Did I
need-
commit a crime?
Huh?
Did I commit a crime?
It's an infraction.
Is it a crime?
It's an infraction.
Is it a crime?
Meaning that I'm able to stop you.
Is it a crime?
You ran the stop sign.
Did I commit a crime?
No, we didn't run the stop
Did I
sign.
commit a crime?
Like, you're really tripping, sir. You really are. Because you have to stop at the stop sign to see where I was.
You know I don't have to ID, right?
This one captures an encounter between a cyclist and police officers. The cyclist questions the officers about stopping him from running a stop sign.
You ain't got nothing better to do or what?
What's that?
You don't got nothing better to do or what?
As far as what?
Like, going out and doing your job.
This is part of my job.
This is serving the public?
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
Making sure you don't drive, run the stop sign, and the vehicle hits you. Or causing that driver to swerve, and then...
Oh, so you can't just come and tell me? You have to get my identification for that?
Yes, we do the same with everybody.
You do? What's the reason for identification?
So I know who you are.
For what? Why do you want to know who I am?
Explain it to you because you ran the stop sign on your
Because I ran the stop sign?
Yes.
Weren't you at a, didn't you have somebody pulled over right now?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? Is that right?
It's our gang officer.
There was two of you and that wasn't you right now?
There's more than one of us.
That wasn't you right now?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Our gang officers.
You ain't got nothing better to do or what?
What's that?
You don't got nothing better to do or what?
As far as what?
Like, going out and doing your job.
This is part of my job.
This is serving the public?
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
Making sure you don't drive, run the stop sign, and the vehicle hits you. Or causing that driver to swerve, and then...
Oh, so you can't just come and tell me? You have to get my identification for that?
Yes, we do the same with everybody.
You do? What's the reason for identification?
So I know who you are.
For what? Why do you want to know who I am?
Explain it to you because you ran the stop sign on your
Because I ran the stop sign?
Yes.
Weren't you at a, didn't you have somebody pulled over right now?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? Is that right?
It's our gang officer.
There was two of you and that wasn't you right now?
There's more than one of us.
That wasn't you right now?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Our gang officers.
The cyclist confidently asserts his right to refuse to provide identification unless he has committed a crime. He challenges the officer's authority by questioning the legitimacy of the stop, emphasizing that running a stop sign on a bicycle does not constitute a crime. The cyclist's argument is centered around his understanding of his rights and the boundaries of police authority. By asserting his knowledge of the law, he attempts to establish a position of power and challenge the officer's actions. The person accuses the officers of having nothing better to do and questions their role in serving and protecting. The person requests a supervisor and expresses his intention to file a complaint against the officer. The speaker said that on the fit cop's face, he will file a complaint against him as he is acting very unprofessional. The person's continuously asking about the crime he has committed and why he's being detained. The cop has no clue about it but is following what his supervisor told him to do. The person being detained expresses doubts about the officer's lack of proper documentation or penal codes to justify their actions. The officers mention a possible reason for the stop, stating that the cyclist matches the description of a stolen bike. However, the bicyclist disputes the claim, vehemently asserting that his bicycle is not stolen and challenging the accuracy of the information provided by the officers.
But I didn't have to ID.
Traffic
Yeah.
violation? Yeah.
I know. I know.
That's what I'm like. That's what I understand.
Oh, I'm not gonna argue about
You're
it.
dismissed.
Thank you.
One of his reasons was because
You guys are both dismissed already.
Stop that. Stop being.
No.
Stop being a jerk.
Man, do you have any other questions as far as?
Stop being a jerk.
Mm-mm.
Don't talk smack after
No. This guy needs to know.
I mean, what do you?
Because he's gonna come back to this.
No, he can't come back. Just like I told you, he wasn't gonna ID me.
Like, it's true.
Did he ID me?
Like, that wasn't his initial reason in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, stop this bullshit. You didn't have a fucking reason. You had no reason.
We're about to see the walk of shame.
Stop that.
That's not safe.
There it is, guys, the walk of shame.
The cyclist adamantly argues that there have been other bikes in the area and expresses disbelief at the officer's claims. He repeatedly questions whether he is free to leave, seeking confirmation from the officers. Finally, they respond affirmatively, stating that he is indeed free to go. He zoomed the camera on the cop when he was walking away with embarrassment on his face and told the cop that he'll get famous on YouTube because of what he did in the park. Now we'll move to our next video.
Hey, how you doing? I'm alright, how are you? It's not allowed here to take photos or videos, okay? You need the permission from the administration about that.
So it's not allowed to take photos or videos here?
This side, no.
Wait, who do I need permission from?
Administration.
From administration? Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Long Island Audit, an individual, was recording at a public library when approached by security personnel who requested them to cease filming. The person's identity, referred to as Long Island Audit, suggests their involvement in documenting public interactions and encounters. The incident occurred within the premises of the library, where the security personnel took notice of the individual's filming activity and expressed their objection.
Have you not heard that before?
I've heard it plenty of times. It's just I'm surprised because, well, my name and my badge number is right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you see it?
Tibbets?
Yep,
640. The pen is blocking the number. 640?
Yep.
And Dennis 647. So what I'm doing here is a First Amendment protected activity. I'm recording. I know you don't care, sir, but listen, if you violate that in any way and interfere with that,
I'm not violating it. They asked you to leave.
Yeah, but they can't ask me to leave. This is a public library. Can I speak to a supervisor, please?
Despite being asked to halt their filming by security at the public library, the individual declined to comply. They invoked their First Amendment rights, specifically their freedom of the press, as the basis for continuing to record. By referencing this constitutional protection, the person asserted their belief that their actions were legally justified and protected. The First Amendment, which safeguards freedom of speech and the press, grants individuals the right to gather and disseminate information, expressing their dissenting stance and asserting their right to document public events and encounters. When police officers arrived at the scene where Long Island Audit was filming, the individual sought to engage with a supervisor. By making this request, they aimed to escalate the situation and potentially address their concerns with someone of higher authority within the police department.
You guys should call one, correct? So, I'm going to request a supervisor again. I would appreciate if you guys can get a supervisor down here.
You don't rule the roost here right now.
Yeah, no, I'm just requesting a supervisor just for
In a minute.
because you guys are a little bit hostile. I can see the tyrant in you, Utter.
Oh, yeah.
You're a real tyrant.
Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes.
In law enforcement experience.
Seeking the involvement of a supervisor suggests that the person felt dissatisfied with the initial interaction and hoped for a different approach or better understanding of their rights. After the arrival of a supervisor, the situation escalated further as the person was faced with the threat of arrest. Feeling compelled to comply with this ultimatum, they reluctantly provided their identification. The threat of arrest likely created a sense of urgency and fear of legal consequences, prompting the person to reluctantly reveal their identity.
Obviously I don't. No,
You took an oath to it, though, Tibbets.
Jeez.
Dude, why you gotta be such a tyrant?
You gotta be such a tyrant. See what I'm doing there?
Acting like a child?
Yeah, so are you.
Acting like a child.
Did you get permission when you post that video of these people?
Don't need it. They're in public.
You don't need it?
Yeah, they're in public. Don't need it. See, you're learning something here today, man. Come on.
This is not going to end well with you, you know that.
Okay, we'll see. We will see.
I'm telling you.
We will see. I'm not scared of you.
I know you're not supposed to be scared. I don't care.
Okay, great. Great.
Long Island Audit took decisive action following the incident by filing formal complaints against the officers involved in the encounter. Unsatisfied with the treatment they received, they expressed their intent to pursue legal action by filing a notice of intent to sue. The response demonstrates the individual's determination to hold the officers accountable for their actions and seek justice for any perceived violations of their rights. At the start of this clip, we see two cars pulling over on the side of the freeway, one belonging to the cameraman and the other to his friend, who was pulled over by state troopers for speeding. When the officer notices that the cameraman is with the guy who was pulled over, he asks him to pull over in front of him as well, but since the cameraman realized this was just retaliation, he decided to just pull over behind the cop car at that moment. Let's see what happens next.
Okay.
So,
Driver's license and registration, please.
you're lying. But you're pulling him over, right?
You and him both.
You just told me you were pulling him over, so.
Yeah, well, he was going 87, you were going 85.
No,
Since you
I got
don't
my
wanna do what
cruise
I tell
on.
you to.
I got my cruise
give
on.
me your driver's license and your registration and insurance.
The cop asked the car driver to provide his driver's license and registration papers, to which the driver replied that the cop must be fooling around as the cop pulled over the driver's friend's car. The officer replied that he has pulled over both cars. The cop decides to cite both drivers for speeding, even though the cameraman claims to have his cruise control on.
Well, you got to give me a minute for the registration, but here's my license. And you realize that how can you see my speed when he's right in front of me?
You're following him. So here's what I did. I hit my front radar on him. He was going 87. As soon as he passed, it went to 85 on you. I never stopped the radar. That's the way it is.
Do you have a printout of that?
The man hands over his license to the officer, unaware that the officer can see his speed. The officer then explains, he's right in front of me and you're following him, so here's what I did. I hit my radar on him and he was going 87, but as soon as he passed, it went to 85 on you.
Now, when I make a traffic stop, if you don't do as I say by pulling to the front of him,
as you
by
say,
being behind
is that
me,
lawful?
I'm trying to make
Is that
sure I have
lawful order?
Yeah, it is, because
How's
it's
that?
officer safety. You're obstructing my
Officer
traffic
safety
stop.
is not a law.
So I want you to pull the front of him
Officer
so that
safety
you're
is
not
not a law.
behind me.
Quote me the
so
code
that I
for
can
that.
make sure that I...
Can you quote me the law for that?
The officer then declares that we'll conduct a traffic stop. If you don't do as I say and I pull in front of him, I'm doing everything I can to ensure officer safety. You're in my way, so I'd like you to pull the problem behind me just to be sure.
The code?
I'm not going to pull you the law for that.
Then there is no law for that.
Order. It is a lawful order.
There's got to be
on
a code for it.
Stop.
There has to be a code for it. For officer safety, there is no code.
I don't care.
Just like there's no code for public safety.
Why is it
What's
that
the
you
problem?
won't do what I tell you to?
I'm with him, okay? It's not safe for me to just pull up ahead.
The man knows that the cop is lying and building up the laws that are not real, so he asks the cop to quote the law for whatever he says.
I don't exactly go to the front of people's
already
vehicles
pulled
because
over.
if you had a gun or something like that, you could always...
What are you so scared of?
What do you mean, what am I scared of? That's the way we maintain our
You think
officer
everybody's
safety.
out to get you?
That is the way we maintain
Why do
our
you guys
officer
always
safety.
think-
I don't know who you are. I don't know
Your
where you're
officer
coming from.
safety issue is ridiculous. You realize that?
The cops then explain why he is terrified. He responds, you could always have a gun or something like that. I'm afraid that's the way we make do you think? Everyone's trying to get you. That's how we made it. What do you think? Here the man responds, I don't know who you are and the safety issue is ridiculous. You realize you have one of the least dangerous professions in the world and I don't have to cooperate since you didn't pull me over. You pulled him over.
There's your insurance.
Stand by.
The man gives the insurance and registration to the cop, but what happens next is going to shock you. They just leave. The man then decides to follow them. The cop appears to refuse to disclose his service ID or information about a supervisor, instead merely handing the driver a ticket and telling him everything's on there. We have a suspicion the cop wants to get rid of this individual as soon as possible.
I'll give that all to
I
you
need it
on a
from
card.
you. No,
I'm
you
gonna
can,
give
you can verbalize it.
I'm going to give it to you.
It's the law. You're supposed to verbalize it.
I'm going to give it.
Can
I'm
you
gonna give
verbally
you all I have to
identify
do is
yourself?
provide it to you. That's
Verbally.
all I have to do. I'm
Verbally.
going to explain your citation
Someone
to you.
that has vision
This
problems
is your violation.
is
You
the
have
reason
vision problems?
When the man asks for the police badge number, the officer refuses and says, "I'll give it to you." However, when the man begs him to verbalize it, the cop continues to refuse. After the continuous refusal of information, the cop gives the violation for speed to the man and leaves.
Your violation is for speed.
Oh,
You're going
what?
85 and a 70.
Huh.
I'm going to give you a violation citation for
Okay, what's your
80
name?
and a 70.
What's your name and badge
You're
number?
right down here.
What's your name and badge number? Are you
right
going to
down
fail to
here.
identify?
And now our next interaction between the cops and a citizen. The video begins with a man standing on the road leading to Iowa State Prison. Despite the fact that the road is publicly accessible, the cops say that it is private property.
And your instruction how to pay out a contest, whichever you choose. My
Who-
information
who's
is
your
down here.
supervising officer?
Huh?
Who's your
My
supervisor?
information is down here. I'm providing that information to you.
Who's your
There's
supervisor?
information. Have a safe day.
The cop approaches the man and tells him, "We're not going to be concerned about you standing out here filming if you go back and approach that prison. If we get a call about that, we'll come up here and arrest you. That leads to you being warned by an employee to keep off the prison location."
So we rode our bikes back this way because there's no signs right here saying that it's, private property or not publicly accessible. Such kind of, and so we rode back over in here, and Dum Dum decides to tell me that we're on private property. I understand it's penitentiary property, but this is a public accessible road to their visitors' parking lot. So,
The cameraman shows the location and mentions that we rode our bikes back this way because there were no signs indicating that this is private land or public property that is not accessible to the public. So we came back in here and he informed me that we were on private property. I understand it's a necessary property, however, this is a public road leading to the visitor's parking lot. Florida just backed up here, claiming that this was a private road, and you claim that there was a sign up here, but the only sign is the K9 on premises. That's all.
yeah, I know, and it's over. There's this road. He says it's private, but there's no sign saying it's not. So I mean, and there's the parking lot's right there, right? That's where you go in to visit somebody, right? So this is open road, right? Ooh, right, and see, and then he's trying to tell me it's private, but I know it's not. You know it's not, because the public. How do I go and visit somebody if I want to visit somebody, right? Well, the parking lot. Right, so that's where I would go to the door though to find out, on information on how to visit somebody, right? I mean, right. And see, and I say it on.
You're good as long as you're on
the road. Right.
Roadway, like it meaning this roadway.
Oh, see, no. See, that's where I'm going to contest, because there's no sign saying I can't go down this road. He said there's no access, no public access, only whatever personnel.
Next, an officer arrives and the cameraman asks the officer about the property. The cameraman explains it's private, yet there's no sign stating otherwise. So I mean, the parking lot's right there, and that's where you're going to see someone, right? So if this is an open road, how do I go visit someone if I wish to see someone? So that's where I would go to the door to find out information on how to visit someone, right? The cop tries all they can to persuade the man to leave, but the cameraman continuously informs the officer he is perfectly legal to be on the road. The cops then tell him it's fine to film and be in the area, but they still ask for his ID. But what happens next is going to shock you and make you laugh. This is when the guy simply hands him a piece of paper with their ID scribbled on it, knowing full well he's not legally compelled to identify himself.
They just want you to stay on the shoulder of the road.
There you go. Yeah, I got my name. Hold on. YOURFIRSTNAME. Your first name.
Next, the man gives the same type of paper written on it with the name. This is surely a lesson for the cops using the law inefficiently. The man's now done with his tricks and asks the cops if anyone's informed about you guys coming over here, because this is definitely public property and there's no sign over here. Here, something strange happens when the cops go from ordering to requesting. So what happened just now, and what did the man show them? Just take a look. The man then leaves after displaying his weapon, which is the law document outlining what rights the police would be violating if the man was not allowed to remain there.